I'm Welcher, and I direct the Rosetta Project at the Long Now Foundation. And we're here at the Linguistic Society of America annual meeting in a poster session that's about metadata and language archives and how we organize all of the materials in our collection. And so we have, I prepared a poster for a poster session here this morning, and the poster talks about a new feature of the Rosetta Project. And if you've been following the Rosetta Project, you know that this is something we actually implemented about a year ago, and I'm here to tell my linguistic colleagues in the linguistic community in the United States about it. So the title of the poster is a distributed archive model, and this is a way that the Rosetta Project is really pretty innovative and different from other language archives around the world. So, as many of you know, what we did this past year is we moved all of the content of the Rosetta Project collection out of our content management system that we built kind of purpose-built for the collection and served on our own site. And we moved it out into these distributed sites, third-party cloud services, to take advantage both of their free hosting and free archival management services, as well as a certain economy of human scale in contribution, and also to make them more accessible and more discoverable. So the main aspect of that is moving all of our content into the Internet Archive. So the Internet Archive now hosts all of the resources in the Rosetta Project collection, our text resources, and we're starting to migrate also the audio that we've digitized, and we have, we're starting to move to develop a video collection as well. And so that's all in the Internet Archive, and that's really great because it offers us free hosting and free serving of the collection. And we have on the back end of the Internet Archive, which is something that most people don't see, we have this beautiful archive management system using really great practices in digital archiving. It's all standard metadata, as well as we can customize the metadata for our own collection. And so it offers us this really robust way to manage the Rosetta collection, and it makes it discoverable. And over the past year, we've had about 100,000 access to the resources in our collection just through search on the Internet Archive site. So the Internet Archive is not specially built for any particular collection, and so the means you have of browsing and navigating the system into the Internet Archive is just a long page of basically keywords, so it's not actually super easy to find things in this way, and probably very few people actually do find our resources in this way. You'd have to search either by ISO code for an individual language, or know what the categories are for our collection, like detailed description of what that means, or a name of a language. So it's not super user-friendly in that respect, but it's not intended to be. So the Internet Archive intends for collections to develop specialized interfaces outside of the Internet Archive and then to call resources into those interfaces. So in order to make our resources more discoverable, we took advantage of another free service called Freebase. And Freebase is an open contribution database that's actually comprised of many, many users. The idea behind Freebase is building the semantic web from the ground up by user contribution. So the Rosetta Project, has a set of information about human language in Freebase. It's basically names of languages, the international standard identifier for languages, and relationships, taxonomic relationships between languages by their historical descent and differentiation. So that's all in Freebase, and we take advantage of the fact that there's tons and tons of other information in Freebase. And one of the things that Freebase did is they crawled all of Wikipedia. So as part of this project, we actually rectified all of the pages on human language in Wikipedia to international standard identifiers for language. So that's actually linked to our data set. And so using that data set, what we were able to do is very quickly populate an entire wiki with one page of for every human language. And so what you see here is this is our prototype of, it's actually a fully built out wiki. It's not dynamic, it's static, so it represents a one-time push of data. But you can see here on this page that this section here, this classification taxonomy of languages, is coming from Freebase. This is the Rosetta dataset in Freebase. The overview here is other information in Freebase, not specifically in the Rosetta collection in Freebase, but this is other information that we can take advantage of by being in Freebase. This section here represents a Wikipedia page on this language based on the linking we did of Wikipedia pages and data in Freebase. This map is provided courtesy of the LL Map project, which I also documented as part of this session. This is courtesy of the Linguist List, and it's a project that's not even within sort of the Rosetta universe, so we were able to link to an external data provider. And then down here on the bottom of the page, we're able to pull in documents that are coming from the Internet Archive. So what this interface represents is kind of a portal that aggregates information on the world's languages and has a page of information for each of these languages. But it isn't the collection itself. The resources are being pulled from distributed services that are out there on the net that we manage independently. So this is what we're proposing as a pretty good model for linguistic archiving. And a fairly robust one over the long term. Is fairly recession resistant because the services are all free, and a lot of the language archives that are out there are actually built on private funding, and if the funding goes away, the question is, well, what happens to the management of the archive? And there's a lot of questions around that, but with a system like this, the service continues, and you don't have to pay for it. So that is actually one of the benefits that adds to the longevity of the collection. And then we can take advantage of the fact that these the sites like the Internet Archive is very discoverable. I mean, people go to that to find resources. And building out a wiki, for example, if we were able to integrate this with Wikipedia pages, that would make these pages even more discoverable. And that's one of the goals that we have, is to make our materials more available to people. Because really the purpose is, what we're trying to do is build an open collection of information about the world's languages.